Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. There's one mistake you can't afford to make when he reaches out to you, and I see it happen all the time. A man from your past calls, sends a text, or slides into your DMs, and suddenly your heart skips a beat. You start wondering, does he miss me? Is he finally realizing my worth? When a man reaches out to you, the biggest mistake you can make is giving away your power. Too many women fall into the trap of letting their emotions take control, and before they know it, they're back in the same cycle they once fought so hard to break. It's natural to feel excited, flattered, or even nostalgic when someone from your past contacts you. Maybe you've been hoping he would reach out, maybe you've missed him, or maybe you're just curious. But here's the truth. You have to stop and ask yourself, who is in control here? Because if you're not careful, you'll end up right back where you started, wondering why you let yourself fall for the same old tricks. A man will always test the waters. He'll send that message, make that call, or suddenly start watching all your stories just to see how you react. He wants to know if he still has access to you. He wants to know if he can pick up right where he left off without putting in real effort. And if you respond too quickly, if you seem too eager, if you let him believe he still holds a place in your life without any work, then you've already lost control. You've given him exactly what he wanted without making him prove himself. And the moment a man realizes he can still have you without effort, the game is over. He has no reason to step up. See, men operate on value. They chase what they feel is value. And value isn't just about beauty or attraction. It's about how hard they have to work to get and keep you. A man respects a woman who respects herself enough to say, if you want me in your life, you have to earn it. That doesn't mean playing games, being rude, or acting uninterested just for the sake of it. It means knowing your worth and refusing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. It means not making yourself too available to someone who hasn't shown you real effort. Now, some women think that if they don't respond quickly, if they set boundaries, or if they don't let a man walk right back into their lives, they'll lose him. And here's my response to that. So what? If a man disappears just because he had to put in a little effort, then he was never serious about you in the first place. A man who truly wants you in his life will do what it takes to prove it. He won't just reach out with a lazy, hey, how have you been text and expect you to jump. He won't just show up when it's convenient for him. He will step up, make an effort, and show through his actions that he's worthy of your time. The moment you let a man back in too easily, you set the tone for the entire relationship. You teach him how to treat you. If he disrespected you before, if he took you for granted, if he walked away and now suddenly wants to come back, then he needs to prove why he deserves another chance. And that proof doesn't come in words. It comes in consistent actions. It comes in effort. It comes in showing up day after day and proving that he's serious about you. But the only way that happens is if you keep the power in your hands. If you make it clear that you are not an option, you are not a backup plan, you are not someone he can call when he's lonely, bored, or just looking for comfort. You are a woman who knows her worth. And when you truly understand that, when you stand firm in that, you will never let a man treat you like anything less than what you deserve. When a man reaches out to you, emotions can cloud your judgment if you're not careful. That's why it's important not to react emotionally. Too often, women get caught up in the excitement of hearing from someone they once cared about. That message, that call, that unexpected DM that triggers something inside you. Maybe it's relief, maybe it's hope, or maybe it's even anger. Whatever it is, the moment you let those emotions take over, you lose control of the situation. And when you lose control, you risk making choices that don't serve you. A man might reach out with sweet words, telling you he misses you, telling you he's been thinking about you, telling you everything you wanted to hear. And in that moment, it's easy to forget the pain he may have caused you before. It's easy to believe that this time is different. But here's the truth. Words are easy, promises are easy. What matters is action. And if you respond too quickly, if you let your emotions dictate your response, you might find yourself right back in the situation that hurt you the first time. Instead of letting feelings lead you, take a step back and think. Ask yourself why he's contacting you now. Ask yourself what has truly changed, And most importantly, ask yourself if he is worthy of a response at all. By keeping your emotions in check, you give yourself the power to observe his intentions. This is where most people go wrong. They assume that just because a man reaches out, he must have changed. They assume that just because he says he misses you, he must be ready to treat you better. But the reality is, a man's words mean nothing without action. You have to watch what he does, not just what he says. A man who truly values you won't just come back with empty words. He won't just test the waters to see if you're still available to him. He will be intentional in his actions. He will be consistent. He will make real effort. If he's serious, he won't just reach out when it's convenient for him. He won't disappear for weeks and then pop up again expecting you to entertain him. He will show up and prove through his behavior that he deserves your time. Too many women take a man's return as a sign that he finally understands their worth. But the real question is, does he act like he understands it? Does he put in the effort? Does he respect your time? Does he follow through on what he says? If the answer is no, then his intentions are clear. He is not reaching out because he values you. He is reaching out because he wants to see if he still has access to you. And if you give him that access without making him prove himself, you show him that he doesn't have to work for you. You show him that you are still available no matter how he treated you before. The key is to be patient. Don't let your emotions drive you to respond immediately. Don't assume his words mean he has changed. Sit back and watch. Pay attention to how he moves. If he disappears after you don't respond right away, that tells you everything you need to know. If he only comes back when it's convenient for him, you already have your answer. Real effort, real change, real intentions will always reveal themselves through actions, not words. At the end of the day, you deserve someone who values you, not just someone who misses you in the moment. You deserve someone who shows up for you, not someone who checks in when they're feeling lonely. And the only way to know the difference is by staying in control of your emotions and watching what he does, because a man who truly wants you will never make you question his intentions. He will show you through consistent actions that he is serious. And if he doesn't, then he never deserved your time in the first place. When a man reaches out to you, the first thing you need to do is know your worth. Too many women make the mistake of forgetting their value the moment they hear from someone they once cared about. They let nostalgia, hope, and emotions cloud their judgment. But the truth is, just because someone contacts you doesn't mean they deserve your time, your energy, or your heart. Your worth is not defined by whether or not a man chooses to reach out. It's defined by how you see yourself, how you carry yourself, and how you allow others to treat you. A man will always test the waters. He wants to see how easy it is to step back into your life. And if you don't know your worth, you might find yourself making excuses for him, believing his words without seeing any real change, or giving him access to you without requiring any effort in return. This is where so many women go wrong. They confuse attention with value. They think that just because a man is showing interest, it must mean something. But attention is cheap. A real man who values you won't just give you attention, he will give you effort, consistency, and respect. That's why it's so important to maintain your standards. When you know your worth, you don't lower your expectations just because someone suddenly realizes they miss you. You don't accept breadcrumbs of effort. You don't allow someone to walk back into your life without proving that they deserve a place in it. If a man left you before, if he took you for granted, if he didn't prioritize you, then he needs to show through his actions that things will be different this time. And if he's not willing to do that, then you already have your answer. Maintaining your standards means setting boundaries and sticking to them. It means not being available the second he decides to reach out. It means not settling for late-night texts, inconsistent effort, or empty promises. It means not letting loneliness or emotions convince you to accept less than you deserve. A man who truly wants to be in your life will respect your standards. He won't try to manipulate you into lowering them. He won't expect you to accept the same treatment that caused you pain in the past. He will rise to meet your expectations because he understands that you are a woman of value, and he knows that if he doesn't, someone else will. But the key to all of this is keeping the power in your hands. Too many times women give away their power without even realizing it. They let a man's actions dictate their emotions. They let his words determine their worth. They wait by the phone, hoping he will say the right things, do the right things, prove that he is different. But here's the truth. You don't wait for a man to prove himself. You keep living your life. You focus on yourself. You remember that you are the prize, and a man who wants you must show up the right way. When you keep the power in your hands, you don't let a man's sudden return shake you. You don't fall into the trap of thinking his interest alone is enough. Instead, you take a step back and evaluate. You observe. You pay attention to what he does, not just what he says. And if his actions don't align with the respect and effort you deserve, you walk away without hesitation. Because at the end of the day, a man will only treat you as well as you demand to be treated. If you accept less, you will get less. If you lower your standards, he will never rise to meet them. But when you stand firm in your worth, when you maintain your standards, and when you keep the power in your hands, you show the world that you are not a woman who settles. You are a woman who chooses herself every single time. And that is the kind of woman who attracts the right kind of love, the kind of love that is real, intentional, and worthy of everything she has to offer. When a man reaches out to you, one of the biggest mistakes you can make is reacting emotionally. It's natural to feel excited, nervous, or even relieved when you hear from someone you once cared about. Maybe you've been waiting for this moment, hoping he would finally realize your worth. But if you allow your emotions to take control, you risk making decisions that don't serve you. A man can sense when you are emotionally vulnerable. And if he has bad intentions, he will use that against you. That's why you have to pause, take a deep breath, and think before you respond. Many women jump at the first sign of attention because they confuse it with value. Just because he's reaching out doesn't mean he has changed. Just because he says he misses you doesn't mean he's ready to treat you the way you deserve. Words are easy, but actions tell the truth. Instead of reacting emotionally, observe his intentions. Why is he contacting you now? What does he want? Is he putting in real effort, or is he just looking for validation, entertainment, or comfort? A man who genuinely cares about you won't just pop up when it's convenient for him. He will be consistent, intentional, and clear about his efforts to be in your life. This is why knowing your worth is so important. A woman who knows her worth doesn't let a random message shake her confidence. She doesn't get swept away by a few sweet words. She understands that attention is not the same as commitment. She doesn't let a man's sudden return make her forget how he treated her in the past. A man who truly values you will not take you for granted. He won't need to lose you to realize your worth. He will show you every single day that you are important to him. If you have to wonder where you stand with a man, then you're already standing in the wrong place. When you know your worth, you maintain your standards. You don't lower your expectations just because you're afraid of losing someone. You don't make excuses for inconsistency. You don't accept the bare minimum. A man who is serious about you will respect your standards. He won't try to convince you to accept less than you deserve. He will step up and show you through his actions that he is willing to meet your expectations. And if he isn't willing to do that, then he isn't the man for you. The moment you lower your standards, you give away your power. You teach a man that he doesn't have to try very hard to keep you. You show him that he can come and go as he pleases, and you will still be there waiting. But a woman who keeps the power in her hands does not chase. She does not beg for effort, attention, or love. She knows that a man who truly wants her will prove it. She does not make herself available to someone who has not earned the right to be in her life. When you keep the power in your hands, you don't respond right away just because he reached out. You take your time, you evaluate, you observe his consistency. You let him show you through his actions whether he is serious or just passing time. And if he is not giving you the effort you deserve, you walk away without hesitation. A man will always respect a woman who respects herself. If you act like a prize, he will treat you like one. But if you accept less than you deserve, you will always receive less. At the end of the day, the way a man treats you is a reflection of what you allow. If you demand respect, effort, and consistency, you will get it. But if you settle for inconsistency, excuses, and half-hearted effort, then that is exactly what you will receive. It all starts with you. It starts with knowing your worth, maintaining your standards, and never giving your power away. Because the right man will never make you question your value. He will see it, appreciate it, and rise to meet it every single day. When a man reaches out to you, the first thing you need to remember is that your emotions should not control your actions. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of hearing from someone you once cared about. Maybe you've been waiting for this moment. Maybe you've been hoping he would realize what he lost, or maybe you're just curious about why he's contacting you now. But reacting emotionally instead of thinking logically is the mistake that can put you right back in the same cycle you worked so hard to break. You have to pause, take a step back, and ask yourself what this really means. Not every message is a sign of change. Not every call is a sign of love. Sometimes it's just a test to see if you're still available. And if you give in too easily, you show him that nothing has changed. The key to handling these situations is knowing your worth. A woman who knows her worth doesn't get flustered just because a man suddenly remembers her. She doesn't jump at the first sign of attention. She understands that she is valuable, and her value does not depend on whether or not a man acknowledges it. A man should not have to lose you to realize your worth. And if he did, the question is, does he truly understand it now, or is he just coming back out of convenience? The only way to find out is to observe his actions. When you know your worth, you don't settle for empty words, false promises, or inconsistent behavior. You don't allow a man to walk in and out of your life as he pleases. You set the standard, and you make sure that any man who wants to be a part of your life meets it. That's why maintaining your standards is so important. Once you set expectations for how you should be treated, you cannot lower them just because a man suddenly shows interest again. Many women make the mistake of relaxing their boundaries because they're afraid of pushing him away. But the truth is, the right man will respect your standards. He will rise to meet them. A man who truly cares about you will never ask you to lower your expectations just to make it easier for him. He will understand that real effort is required, and he will put in that effort willingly. If he doesn't, then he is not the man for you. But here's the thing, maintaining your standards means keeping the power in your hands. You do not give your power away by chasing, begging, or making yourself too available to someone who has not proven that they deserve your time. Too many women let a man dictate the pace of the relationship. He disappears, he comes back, and he expects you to be there waiting. But a woman who values herself does not operate that way. She understands that she is in control. She decides who gets access to her, and that access must be earned. A man respects a woman who respects herself. If he sees that he can come and go without consequences, he will never take you seriously. But if he knows that you are not a woman who tolerates inconsistency, he will either step up or step aside. Either way, you win. A man will always treat you based on what you allow. If you let him walk in and out of your life without effort, he will continue to do so. But if you require him to be consistent, intentional, and respectful, you set the standard for how you should be treated. This is why knowing your worth, maintaining your standards, and keeping the power in your hands are all connected. When you do these things, you attract the right kind of treatment. You show a man that you are not desperate for his attention, and that if he wants to be in your life, he must show up the right way. The right man will recognize your value without having to test you. He will see what you bring to the table, and he will do whatever it takes to keep you. And the ones who can't meet your standards, they were never meant for you in the first place. When a man reaches out to you, the first and most important thing you must do is control your emotion. It's natural to feel something, excitement, curiosity, hope, or even anger, but acting on those emotions too quickly can lead to regret. Many women make the mistake of responding immediately, thinking that his message is a sign of change, a sign of love, or a second chance at something they wanted. But if you don't take a moment to step back and think logically, you might find yourself in the same situation that hurt you before. A man's words can be sweet, his timing can seem perfect, and his attention can feel good, but none of that means anything unless his actions match his words. The second thing you must remember is to know your worth. A woman who truly understands her value does not get overly excited just because a man suddenly realizes she exists again. She does not let his attention shake her confidence or make her forget who she is. Your worth is not determined by whether or not a man contacts you. You were valuable before he left, and you are still valuable now. If a man truly values you, he will show it through consistent action, not just a random message when he feels like it. A man who sees your worth won't wait until it's convenient for him to reach out. He will never let you question his intentions in the first place. That's why maintaining your standards is crucial. It's easy to lower your expectations when you want something to work, but doing so only teaches a man that he doesn't have to try very hard to keep you. Many women make the mistake of making themselves too available, accepting inconsistent effort, or overlooking past behavior just because they want to believe things will be different.